This training addresses how to do a batch update of inventory counts. From the inventory screen, let's go into our Add Edit Inventory. The idea here is that you're going to do an inspection of certain plant materials. Let's say, for example, that we want to take a look at all of our, perhaps our mums, and we have a number of mums down here in almost ready condition. In order to find them quickly, I'm going to go to this section and simply highlight mum and include the mums. Now in this case, what I'd like to do is go through and do an inspection of all my almost ready and then do a batch update of the salability codes. In the past, what we've done is go to the location, and if I have an almost ready, I would click the location and then do an inventory split. This would allow me to split some of these almost ready out and put some of them in a saleable code. In this case, this process is too slow. We don't have time under some inspection circumstances to go through and double-click every location and do these individually. I'd like to do them quickly and in a batch. So I've taken a look at all my mums. The next thing I want to do is inspect the almost ready condition. So I'm going to click on almost ready and include only those mums. So at this point I want to go out and take a look at these and see how many of these almost ready I can move into salability codes. In order to do that, I'm going to go down to the bottom and select in this drop down in the very bottom that says batch split. When I click the batch split screen, what it does is it brings up a separate screen with these identical items in it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and here are the on-site numbers that I expect to have, and what I'd like to do now is go through and create a base count of how many of them are going to be in a new saleable code. So let's say, for example, I just go down and as I'm taking a look at them, I think 400 of these are ready. 150, 22, 600, 500, and perhaps none of these are in almost ready status in this particular one. Then I can go back to my list and simply go down the list and say, well, these were bud and bloom, these are budded, this particular one that I'm splitting out is in bloom. Let's do full. I'm just randomly picking some now, but you'll be looking at your inspection list in order to get the correct salability codes, and we didn't have any change on this last one. So at this point, this is much faster than going through and double-clicking individually and splitting them. So when I click split, each of these will be split. So as I process the inventory now, what I'm doing is I'm creating a batch split. So at this point, I'm looking back at my Add Inventory screen now. So what I'm going to do is click Remove Selections because I filtered it for only AR. Now, in order to prove that I got the items in, I'm going to go ahead and search on the mums. Looks like my plant search doesn't work after I've done the include exclude. This plant search doesn't work until I close the screen. But I'm going to go here to the mums and include them just as I did before. Notice that these new additions that I added, the budded, the bloomed, all of these now are added into the system, and the former amount that I took away from almost ready, that count has been subtracted. So if I go into these red almost ready as an example and double click so that I can look at the detail, you'll see as we scroll down and find the ones that I've dealt with, when we look down below, we see that they have been split. So we did split out some of them, and that was a part of what occurred here. As we split this particular inventory, we split some out. So you can go back and prove how many were split out and how the adjustment or the on-site number has now been adjusted, and this should be a great deal quicker.